From across the planet, Recycling Times keeps you in touch with the latest computer printing news.
Hello, I'm David Gibbons and here is the news. After a tough year, iconic imaging company Kodak has at last made some modest wins. Shareholders and suppliers were worried the 120-year-old company was so shaky it might collapse. Collins Ink was going to break contract and stop supplying ink to Kodak for their Versamark inkjet printers. But a federal court in Rochester, New York has now ruled Collins Ink must continue to let Kodak resell their inks. And Kodak says it is also slowly becoming more profitable and sustainable. During its third quarter, sales in consumer inkjet printers and ink grew by 44%. But a 25% decline in the sale of digital cameras and devices meant the company overall is still running losses. The first company to begin collecting empty printer cartridges in the Netherlands may win an award for collecting 3.2 million empties this year. Van Cleveren, who has been collecting empty cartridges for more than 18 years, is hoping to take out the coveted Waste-Free Award for 2011. The award is given to organisations which encourage people to prevent waste. The 3.2 million cartridges collected by Van Cleveren would have filled 600 containers of landfill space. 94% of collected cartridges can be reused and the remaining 6% go to recycling companies. Printer cartridge remanufacturers can expect new challenges ahead, according to one market analyst. IDC says original equipment manufacturers, or OEMs, are focusing on gaining back more market share by lowering the cost to print a page. And large remanufacturing companies will be looking to acquire smaller companies in an industry shake-up. IDC also report remanufacturers own 20%, or $300 million of the total consumable market. But in emerging economies like India and Indonesia, remanufacturers have more than 50% of the total consumable market. First there was the laptop PC and then mobile smartphones and tablets, but now you can take a mobile printer around with you too. Brother International has released what it calls a rugged, in-the-field A4 mobile printer. The PocketJet 600 is 26 centimetres wide and weighs less than 1 pound or 473 grams, fitting easily into a briefcase or onto a mount in the car. It will also run on batteries, connect with a laptop, smartphone or iPad, and uses modern thermal technology, which means it does not need toner, ink or ribbons. But now you can print out a quote, invoice or service report on the spot in hard copy. And I'll be back with more news in just 15 seconds. When you want to know what's going on, where do you go? When you want to do new business confidently, where do you go? You go to the #1 source of news and business. Welcome back, I'm David Gibbons, and in brief, Bloomberg reports Canon has cut its annual profit forecast due to the Thai floods and weak economic growth in the US and Europe. Floods may dampen operating profits by up to 20 billion yen. HP's anti-counterfeit program manager says she is fearful toner from fake toner cartridges can burn your skin and threaten human health. Ricoh will focus more on retail sales by opening 300 new stores and 150 special service stores before March 2012 in China. They plan to sell 500,000 A4 printers by 2013. Epson has developed receipt printing paper that contains no bisphenol A. BPA, as it's called, is a widely used industrial chemical, but it's poisonous. A conference in Sydney, Australia reported managed print services will grow a whopping 64% in Asia Pacific through to 2013, 10% higher than forecast for Latin America and double what's expected for Europe. And now we go to Charles Brewer. Charlie, we covered a story in the news about empty cartridges, so what's the current situation about empties?
David, the empty situation has been getting worse now for about the last 5 years or so. There is very good collection programs that are out there, and we've seen a lot of acquisition of empties brokers, and the companies that are acquiring these brokers are keeping their empties. In addition to that, we're seeing less printing, and when we have less printing, of course, that means that less cartridges are being used. So as a result of all of this, we're starting to see more companies use non-virgin cartridges. They're using cartridges, 2 or maybe even 3 times. And of course, we're starting to see a lot more of the compatibles that cause so much problems with all of the remanufacturing industry. So I think the situation with empties is difficult, and I don't really see it improving that much in the near future. Back to you, David.
Recycling Times Media brings you the news the way you want to receive it. Recycling Times Media brings you the #1 trade show in the world. Recycling Times, #1 for news and business. Thanks, Charlie. Well, that's the news for now, but for breaking news each day, go to www.recyclingtimes.tv, and you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook as well. Thanks for watching. See you again next week. I'm David Gibbons.